My apologies for the other day.
Got me looking for you.
That won't happen again. Just wanted to just ask, just seeing Devin get in that mode, and you've seen it all year, but how special was it tonight to see him go to another gear in that second half?
I mean, I expect that out of him. He's our go-to player. You know, we know he can make plays for himself and for others. So we just try to get him in some good situations, good spots, and let him read the game and react and play basketball. He did a great job of just shot making tonight for sure.
Quick follow: you guys are 2 wins away from winning an NBA title. When you hear that, what's registering right now?
0-0. Fight. These guys are a tough team. Obviously, we're going into a tough environment. But your mindset has to be just 0-0 next game. Can't look too far ahead. Don't look back. Just next game mentality, and that's what we're preaching.
Thanks, Jay.
Cool.
Any other questions in here for Jay? Palmer, anyone on Zoom?
Yeah, next up, we're going to go with Brendan Clean with Locked On Suns.
Hey, Jay. Middleton had a pretty solid game in game one, especially getting to that pull-up three and just kind of finding mismatches. Not so strong tonight. Was there anything different you guys were doing on him, or was it just Giannis having the ball a little bit more and their offense looked different? Just what did you see from how things were different for them?
Well, I just think we just never let him get comfortable. We talked about it. We just wanted to give a lot of different looks to him, not let him see the same coverages over and over. Obviously, these guys do a good job, but when you play the same way, same style of defensively, they pick you apart. So we just try to give him a lot of different looks and make it as tough as possible on him. Obviously, he's a hell of a player. He's one of their go-to players. So we just want to make it as difficult as possible. I think Mikal Bridges did a great job on him all night.
What would you say the key is when Giannis does score like he did to still being able to win a game like that? You'd look at it and think, well, if he scores that way, most of the time Milwaukee's going to win. Obviously, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I'm not really into coaching those guys. I'm trying to beat them. So I don't really know the correct answer to that. We're just trying to beat them.
Next up is going to be Jovan Buha with The Athletic.
Hey, Jay. Chris and Devin have combined for the most points by a starting backcourt in NBA Finals history through the first couple games. Obviously, you expect big things from them offensively, but can you just speak to the level of dominance they've had through these first 2 games?
I mean, it sounds crazy, but I really expect them guys to play well every night. They put a lot of work into it. They do a good job of running our team, running our offense, making it run smoothly. Obviously, everything runs through those guys. So we put the ball in their hands and put them in situations and let them play and react. Coach did a great job of filling the game and putting those guys in position, and they do a good job of just creating for themselves and for others. So I expect that. It may be a surprise to others, but I expect those guys to lead the way, especially offensively for our team. And that's what we've been doing all year, and it's no different now that we're in the finals.
Next up is Mark Schwartz with ESPN.
Hey, Jay, I heard Devin say a week or two ago that he's been preparing for moments like this all of his life. He clearly doesn't run from them, does he?
No, I wouldn't be here if he did. I wouldn't want to play with a guy who runs from the moment. I think he does a great job of seizing opportunity. I knew playing against him what type of competitor he was previously before joining him as a teammate. So, no, to answer that question, he's not going to run from any fight, battle, situation that the basketball court presents. So he's a hell of a player. He's a hell of a competitor. And I'm glad to be a part of playing alongside him at this time of the year.
Why do you
think? Gina, and then one final question on Zoom.
Hey, Jay. Monty said that he thought that the defense in the second quarter is what won the game for you guys. Just what specifically on that end of the floor do you feel like was working really well and holding them to only, I think it was 16 points?
Yeah, I just think we adjusted and try to keep those guys out of our paint. They're a great team once the ball is in the paint. We just tried to just guard the ball, guard our yard as best as possible to keep that ball out of our paint and make those guys make tough contested shots. I think that's our recipe, especially in the second quarter, was to get that lead. We just try to protect our paint. That was the message.
And then follow up on what you just said about Book too. I mean, you mentioned I wouldn't be here if not for him, but what have you maybe seen now from him as far as the work that he does behind the scenes as his teammate that none of us see? Like, what can you tell us about his work habits and what he does?
I mean, he's a well-rounded professional. I don't know how else to put it. He puts the work in on a daily basis. He just don't do it on every now and again. It's an everyday thing. He take care of his body. He take care of his mind. He watches film. He talks. He communicates well. So he does everything you want out of a guy, especially who's been here, who's comfortable in this in his city and on this team. And he did a good job of just bringing everyone together. I think his work ethic speaks for itself. He's putting the work in, so he has a voice in the locker room. I think once you put the work in on a daily basis, obviously the rest of it falls in line from a leadership standpoint, and he does that on a daily basis.
Final question is David
Palmer on
Chinelato
Zoom.
from Italy.
Hi, Jay. Talking about your game, obviously you didn't shoot that well in game one. Game two was different. How much is important for you to be a contributor on offense and on defense too?
You know, I didn't look too much into it because we won the game. Obviously, if we would have lost that game and I played the way I played, I would have been even more disappointed in myself. But obviously, you have those nights. But we have a great team, and these guys do a good job of. We always been the team to talk about picking each other up. And obviously, I had a tough night, but my teammates picked me up. We was able to come out with a win. I do feel like it's big for me to play on both ends of the court and be a factor on both ends of the court. But obviously, our team is deep enough. We have enough to get it done. Even if I have an off night, even if Book have an off night, even if Chris have an off night, we have enough to get it done in our locker room, and we totally believe in one another. So that game was just a glimpse of what we've been preaching all year. We have each other back, and my teammates had my back that game.